Hello and welcome to another week of Pick 3 DST, where I give you 3 defenses I like and 1 defense I'm fading for week 5 of the NFL season. I'm your host, Eric Samulski, and as a reminder, these are not my full weekly DST rankings. If you want those, you can click the link below or go to RotoBaller.com to check those out, which I will update as the week goes on. We're going to dive in right now with the defense I'm fading for week 5, and it's the Miami Dolphins. Now, fading in the sense that I have them 14th and consensus has them 10th. So what that's saying is I think that the Dolphins are playable, but they're not really in the smash spot that I think most people assume when they see Jets on the schedule. This Dolphins defense hasn't really been that good to start the year. They give up the 5th most yards per play in the NFL. They're 31st in the NFL in pressure rate. They have only 7 sacks through 4 games, and they're 20th in turnover rate. So they're pretty below average across the board. And this Jets offense actually has some pieces now, with Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, Breece Hall, even Tyler Conklin's playing well this year. So yes, the Dolphins could be a playable defense this year, but I don't think that you should just automatically fire them into your lineup and say this is a smash spot because it's the Jets. This Dolphins defense has not earned that this year. My sleeper defense this week is the Tennessee Titans. Consensus has them 15th, but I have them up at 10th. And part of it is definitely the matchup. The Washington Commanders give up the 4th most points to opposing defenses this year. They give up the most sacks in the NFL. They have 7 turnovers in 4 games. So they are definitely an offense that we want to attack. This Titans defense is solid. They're 13th in the NFL in pressure rate. They're 13th in the NFL in turnover rate. So they do some fantasy-friendly things, but they're pretty average. Now, I'll take an average defense and make them top 10 based on a really good matchup, but I can't go that much higher than the 10th spot the Titans are in. I don't want to take an average defense and jump them up into the top 5 just because of a matchup. But moving the Titans to 10th because they're facing Washington feels like a pretty strong move to me, and I think that they're playable in 10 and 12 team leagues. My solid defense of the week is the Dallas Cowboys. Consensus has them at 7th, but I have them up at 3rd. They're facing a Rams team this week that just looks awful. Matt Stafford leads the NFL in interceptions, and the Rams as a whole have the 4th most turnovers of anybody in the NFL. The Rams have allowed the 3rd most sacks in the NFL, and now they face a Cowboys defense that's tied for 2nd in the NFL in sacks and is 3rd in the NFL in pressure rate. I think Micah Parsons and co are going to make things really hard for Matt Stafford this weekend, and this Rams offense looks like it's basically Cooper Kupp right now and nobody else. So I think this Dallas Cowboys defense is still a pretty solid play. Before we move to my elite defense, I want to give you my helpful tip of the week. And it's not to think about rest of season when it comes to defenses this early on. I see a lot of people in the comments talking about, oh, I'm going to have Philadelphia rest of the season. We can't really think about that with defenses because things change so quickly. I like to think of defenses in a 2 to 3 week spurt because your really good defenses like the 49ers and the Eagles and the Cowboys and the Bills, you'll want to play them in a 2 or 3 week span. If you don't want to play a defense at all for 3 weeks, that's not a defense that you should be holding. That's a defense that is matchup dependent. And I really don't want you thinking about who has a really good week 12 matchup now, because you could be holding a defense that by week 12 is just not playable due to injuries on their side or the way the offense they're facing has changed over the course of the span. And now for my elite defense, it's the San Francisco 49ers. Consensus has them 2nd, and I have them 1st. They look great against the Rams on Monday night, holding them to 257 yards of offense with 7 sacks. They're 1st in the NFL in tackles for a loss. They're 1st in the NFL in pressure rate. They're 2nd in the NFL in sacks. I think that they are just a really solid play right now. I don't see any reason why we would want to stray from using the San Francisco 49ers in really any matchup, especially against Baker Mayfield and the Panthers right now. Baker Mayfield just is not a good NFL quarterback. He is still prone to making mistakes, and this Panthers offense is just not clicking with him. So fire up Nick Bosa and company against the Panthers on Sunday. If you haven't yet, please make sure to like and subscribe to get Pick 3 DST every single week, as well as the rest of our RotoBaller content, our start-sit videos, our DFS videos, our rankings videos. We give you all that content to help make sure you not only win money, but win your leagues this NFL season.